Go. Call the meeting to order. Polk City Board of Adjustment, August 26th, 2026 at City Hall. Roll call.
Schlater.
Here.
Wilkins.
Here.
Morris.
Here.
Walters.
Here.
Robertson.
Here.
We've been called regarding a variance request submitted by a Teresa Powell, 361 North Cherokee, regarding a fence denial, wanting to replace an existing fence, and the denial has been based on height of the existing fence and height of the new fence that wants to be replaced. Any questions, comments, input from the Board of Adjustment?
Is it just the height that's an issue, or is it also the location?
So I will give you kind of the backstory. There's no current records on file for the fence currently as it sits today for as far as permitting or anything. So it tells me it happened before. Likely any regulations were in place, especially our current ones. With the proposal to replace, it would be an issue with setbacks and with height. It currently exists and is non-compliant in both regards. It currently is shown on the picture I have here. It does go right up to the property line, and with that being a double frontage, anything from 0 to 14 feet is not allowed for a fence in the front yard, in which that area would be considered. Anything from 15 to the primary setback would be limited to the 42-inch height and no more than 50% opaque. So there are multiple aspects there for the denial. Like I said, based on the current code and the way that it's written, there's just no way with that power that I could approve the way it was submitted. So that was the reason for denial.
Have we received any input from any neighbors?
No.
I would say this property does have a little bit different circumstance where there is probably a little more additional setback there with the street right of way, which I think that's Westchester Park Drive, but has been administered in this case for the review and as any other fence would be currently.
Any further comments or questions from the board? It seems from the letter that we got from Cody that there are several conditions that need to be met. Is there a motion to accept or deny the variance?
A couple questions,
Go.
sorry. When she applied for a new fence permit, was it going to be in kind, or was it just a 48-inch tall fence? I was a little confused on.
The submittal was for the 48-inch replacement. I have not been on site to measure what it is currently. It does look like it's shorter than 42-inch currently, but it is a picket fence as well, so you don't meet the opaqueness either. So there's still multiple things existing non-compliant about it, but there was a little back and forth with the applicant trying to get them to what could be approved. There's just no real headway made, and that's the reason for the overall denial in the end.
Then one other question. If we are to deny the variance, she can still keep that fence?
I don't have any issue and would not pursue
Okay,
anything of that nature because it's existing non-compliant.
right.
As long as no major changes made, there's nothing that I would treat differently.
Okay.
Is the current fence two different heights?
I believe, without having pictures of the site, I believe the south portion is a privacy fence currently and then transitions down to a lower once you get near Chester Park Drive.
I think the privacy is actually,
It does extend across the back a little bit too as well.
yeah, I think that was, I took pictures, I walked by yesterday. Yeah, she does have some privacy that transitions down.
Like I said, overall, like not something I would It's just no way in the code to approve
Right.
the way it's written.
Because of the additional area by Jester, do you have any concerns with safety if we were to approve the variance? As far as traffic?
There would be no sight on the corner there at all. I mean, it's far enough away that I wouldn't have any concerns as far as that goes. I think overall, the safety concern with the fence being right up on the sidewalk is something for like bicycles or something that are riding along and catch the fence is a main reason why we try to keep them off of that. And I don't know, are they allowed to approve subject to other requirements?
Code, if that's what.
Sure.
So yes, if you wanted to.
Approve subject to other requirements.
In,
Are you-
in my thoughts, maybe if you want to approve some sort of variance, maybe not to allow it directly on the property line and require some
Offset.
variance of setback. That's just where my mind goes with that, to keep in mind with some of the safety aspect of that.
Which brings it within code.
You would still have to be the 15 feet with it being a front yard by definition in the city code.
Do you have a recommendation for how far away from the sidewalk you'd feel comfortable with?
With no other real reference in the code, I don't know what that would be necessarily, just another alternate possibly if it were available. I've not spent time in other cities' codes to see what variations of that there might be, but I know some do offer tighter setbacks than we do.
Well, my thinking on the setback is it's put there for a reason for any future public infrastructure that needs to maybe go through there. Again, the safety factor, if that's a 4-foot sidewalk and obstruction next to it is not meeting the lateral clearance on a sidewalk anyways. You know, you can probably vary it a little bit with the 15-foot. It seems like there's plenty of space there for sight distance. I would maybe consider the setback 48 inches. I wouldn't go much taller than that. I think those trees are probably a bigger sight distance issue than anything, but
If it helps in any decision across I'd call it the west. I don't know that it's true west in that neighborhood, but I think these two for sure have fences that they do comply, and the one on the corner for sure has applied in my time here, and they were held to the 15-foot setback.
Any further questions or input? Anybody like to make a motion? To approve or deny with or without stipulations?
If we were to make it a motion to allow conditions, we would still may be coming back here if she doesn't, because she's not here to provide any kind of input, which makes it difficult because, kind of like you, I mean, it's kind of a unique property in town where, yeah, has a fence non-conforming. However, if she were to pull off that sidewalk for some safety consideration and still be able to use that yard as she does, and she has for couple decades now. But since she's not here to say, well, 4 foot's great, or 6 foot, I would lean toward just a total denial.
Yeah, I think my concern would be is if you start allowing conditions, then how do you manage those and how do you keep track of them? So, 10 years from now, when she wants to do something different, then, you're having to come back for additional conditions. And I think it's easier to, stick with like you said, those setbacks are there for a reason, and I think you gotta hold to them. And I think there's a reason why they were put there like that, so.
Jeff make a motion then, or
I think I made a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion on the floor in a second to deny.
Correct.
Okay. Take a vote?
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
I will, I guess, a little bit of an update to the board as well. We have had talks recently with the city attorney about the verbiage in our Board of Adjustments code sections. It sounds like at the state level, things have been loosened a little bit with the verbiage, that you no longer have to prove that there's absolutely no reasonable way to use your property. You just have to prove a hardship. So that could likely change in the upcoming months as we work through that, but just it would reflect how you guys can vote in the future. You wouldn't have so much the 5 stipulations that are held so strictly to. There'd be a little more openness for you guys to make those decisions on that route, so. There's more to come on that.
Okay. Meeting, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Adjourned.